Okay, my name is Jennifer Clifton, and I'm going to do my video article reflection assignment. Okay, so this focused on teaching children to recognize and use signal words. They did it in different groups. They done it with different books, and so they provided opportunities for practice, and children can improve their vocabulary, understanding academic language, and overall a science topic. They understand sequence, like first, second, third, finally, and last. What you want to do is select appropriate expository text. You want to grab a child's attention. You want to choose something that's in a sequence matter, focusing on topics of natural interest to young children. I know with when I work with Head Start, our early childhood class, or what we called our baby room, they loved the books that had like the little fur and the little things that you could feel in it, that it felt like the animal or the plant or something, and they loved that. Now, our bigger kids, they like Llama Llama. They love books on CoComelon, because that's something they could, like get behind. They loved Blue's Clues. I love Blue's Clues. So that's something that, and that and the pictures tell a story, and you want it to do that. You want it to, they can relate to it. Explicit instruction and modeling. Introduce and explain the concept of sequence and instruction using clear, simple language. They're children. They have to have simple language. And you can do this with parents too. Simple language. Don't use the language like what we use, like, they may not get that. Using simple language. Ask questions that encourage them to identify and use signal words to describe the sequence of events. Even have your explain to your parents how important it is to read to their children, and going through this directions that we're doing, like, so they can learn not just from school, but they can learn at home too. And this helps the parents too understand what they're learning about, and maybe the parents don't understand exactly what it is, and they can do research on their own. Using prompting and scaffolding to support their understanding and responses. You always want to make sure you're using proper language. That is a main thing, proper language, so they can understand what you mean, what you want them to, what you say to them, and what you want them to feed back to you. If you ask them a question, you want them to give you the answer, but you want them to understand the question so they understand the answer that they're giving. Monitoring and adjusting. Observe children's responses and adjust the level of support as needed. A 1-year-old's not going to respond like a 5-year-old, okay? But they still will respond. It will just be on their level. And if they're not responding on their level, something, you might need to intervene. We might need to have an intervention or something to help them as they get older. If you recognize it when they're young, it makes it easier as they get older, because they can get the help and they start building on those steps that they learn. Benefits of intervention: improved understanding. This goes for children, students, parents, teachers, everybody. But children develop a better understanding of the organization structure of the text. Enhanced vocabulary. My 6-year-old and my 10-year-old have one of the biggest vocabularies I've ever seen. The other day, my 6-year-old, she goes, I think we need to extend our time of being in the pool. And I'm like, You're 6. How do you know what extend means? And then like just my oldest one, she has this great memory with wrestlers. We love wrestling, so like she just little things makes her remember it. She says, honestly, I think she has a photographic memory with that, because I'll be like, oh, whose name is that? And she'll just say it, and I'm like, okay. So, I think with us reading and, being one-on-one with them and being very involved with their schooling and stuff, that has helped a lot. And we read to them as they grew up. Increased language skills, like I said, you want your students to have an increased language skill. This doesn't just come from school, this comes from home. Parents are the first teachers for their children. If the parent is not working with the child is not going to learn and be on the level that they should. A lot of parents think if you just send them to school, they'll learn to do everything. That's not the way it goes. It takes a village to raise children, and that's children gain confidence when their ability to comprehend and discuss the information. They do. Like, if you have a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old and you're reading that, or even 3-year-old, and you're reading a book to them, and they see the duck, and they might say, quack, quack. Like, especially a 1 or 2-year-old. They're getting it, and they get excited, and you'll go through the book. Well, what does this sound make? What's this sound make? It's not just reading words that they need to learn sounds. Books with pictures are sounds. You can ask or talk about what the picture is, and they're going to learn more from that than just reading the book to them and not asking questions. When you read a book, always ask questions. Always ask questions about the book. By implementing this, educators can effectively support preschool children and language impairments in building a strong foundation for future literacy success. As I said, we are their second teachers. Their parents are their first teachers. But if their parents doesn't know how to teach, that's where we got to reach them. So, thank you. Have a good night. Bye.